LCK Playoffs 2019 Summer. It is round 2. The winner of this will be going to the final next weekend, and SKT already putting their best foot forward. Now moving on to the red side, the blue side victory is super important, and now they get red side, and it could almost be looking down the barrel of a 2-0 before it's even happened.
Why are you surprised? I told you. Alex.
But you know I have to still pretend, you know?
No, we don't.
For the viewers, so that we can tell a story.
We got it right here.
See what I have to deal with? And we're trying to create an exciting broadcast, right? And then you're just sitting there with all the answers in front of you.
You know what one of my favorite things to do is? Someone asked me about a book, I just turn to the last page. I read off the last couple of paragraphs.
And then you can tell them all about what happened in the book. Wow. Well, he's giving his secrets away. Let's see whether SKT and DAMWON are going to give away any new ones here in the draft for game number 2. DAMWON now on our blue side, as the Aatrox is going to continue to get banned. It was Aatrox, Akali, and Xayah on the DAMWON banned side, as now SKT looking for their bans. And the Akali, of course, a red side staple ban, especially between these two squads. And I think the Sylas is going to be a contested one. If it is left available, DAMWON will first pick it. It was a huge factor for SKT in game number 1. Clid took a little while to get going, but he was farming his jungle so effectively, and you were talking about the rubber band camps that he was able to pick up, the fact that he was able to navigate that jungle just a little bit better than Canyon was.
Yeah.
And it was a cute little draft for DAMWON with their flex of the Talia back into the jungle as well. Everyone knows that she is strong. In the mid lane also, as the Ezreal to be banned here. Wasn't banned in the first round in game number 1, but DAMWON are going to take it off the board this time. Yuumi continues to be a staple ban in the playoffs. Only one game has she gotten through.
Well, we'll have to see what is going to be the first pick for DAMWON, as the final ban for SKT still yet to be decided. It will end up being the Vladimir.
So they are going to give away the Sylas, in theory, as Xayah is actually going to be the choice. So it was a coin flip between the two. Xayah, of course, banned in game number 1. Now snapped up in game 2, and SKT, what are they going to head towards? This just shows that DAMWON are really putting a lot of priority on giving themselves a bottom lane that Nuclear and BeryL are comfortable in.
Yeah, they want to make sure that this time around maybe they have a little bit more autonomy down there in the bottom lane, as the Rakan can easily come in next to accompany the Xayah before the second ban phase, as Sylas is going to be locked in for SKT, still able to be flexed. Have to see what they're going to accompany this with. Now, if you know that you're going up against Xayah or Kahn, you can draft around it relatively easy.
Yeah, if you want to. 8 seconds to go now before SKT has made their decision. They can pick away the Rakan if they feel like, or they can set themselves up for the Tahm Kench and the Varus, which is what they've started to do here in theory. Teddy's Varus certainly being his laning choice that he goes towards, and Canyon just going to counterpick himself. Ooh, in that position. Faker now cycling through just about everything here, but the Jace snapped up so fast on DAMWON's side.
Jace and Sejuani both picked up really, really quickly. And so now SKT, they have 10 seconds to decide on something, and it does look like they will just lock in Sir Thomas.
Yep, bit of a no-brainer right there. Certainly has been SKT's go-to bottom lane, and it allows Teddy to play so much more aggressively down there as well. Effort just does what he's told, and devours Teddy when he requires it. And this lane can be very self-sufficient. So look for Clid to be playing a little bit more topside League of Legends this time around, or really trying to put the screws in to the bottom lane of DAMWON. But DAMWON did leave the Rakan on the table, so now can be banned away from SKT. They do so first off. Sorry, I had a peek at your script there just for a second.
Yeah, I saw. I saw you taking a look at it. It's all right. Well, now DAMWON, it's a little bit difficult to pinch away mid and top, which is why this kind of an opening from SKT on the red side is so nice. And also going to the second pick phase.
And also Faker's shown that he's happy to play a unique champion in every single game. So how are you supposed to ban things away? We did, of course, get the heads up that LeBlanc wasn't going to be played this game because she was played last game. And SKT are, in fact, not going to allow ShowMaker to have a chance to play that champion either. I have a sneaking suspicion that ShowMaker will be the man on the Jace in this game. Does have a lot of lane priority from mid. We've seen it cropping up more and more. Of course, Chovy being our best LCK example of a dominant Jace player, but around the world he has been rising in popularity in mid lane. Trying to get the best possible counter pick for Nuguri has been the way DAMWON's won in the past, is sort of where my mind is at.
Kiana is still open and available. There it is.
Yeah, this will be the second time that FLICKR's played her, if it is in fact going to be going over to FLICKR. Still whispers that she can be played elsewhere, but it's been 100% mid lane Kiana thus far, so our expectation is that FLICKR is going to be making his first secondary appearance on a champion here in the playoffs.
Well, 5 seconds remaining now for DAMWON, as Braum is going to be the lock-in of choice.
Yep, trying to find a champion that can go against the Tahm Kench relatively effectively, and Braum has always been that guy. Now where does BeryL decide to lead this composition? Because it's going to be counterpick for Kahn on the top side of the map. Or is the intent to win it going to come through? Still a flex pick, still an opportunity for DAMWON to throw these solo lanes wherever they feel comfortable. We'll see. The Karma coming out is actually just really frightening, because we saw Sandbox try and do this against SKT, and SKT made it look like a 4v5.
All right,
there you go.
I gotta
they were taking
a little bit.
Yeah, they were taking a little bit too long, and you got a little bit antsy.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking to myself, you know, you need a champion into Karma or Jace. You also need a champion that is short range, durable, and able to fight the brunt of the force and synergize with the comp. And obviously, Ryze fits into that really well. So, wasn't looking at the script or anything.
Oh, you didn't even need to look at the script for that one.
I didn't even need to do it. I just wanted to let you know.
Just did the thinking this time?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll actually give you some real credit for that particular prediction. And they are going to alleviate some of their damage range issues as far as having too much physical, too much magic. It's what happens when you have a mid laner that is largely physical-based. As that crab, the shell, is adorable.
That is really adorable. I wonder if that summons something. Maybe if you play it, you summon something. Sort of like playing the Poke Flute and summoning Snorlax.
Do you summon Snorlax? You wake him up,
you wake him up. I mean, you may as well summon him. He is a
just
god.
Like this gigantic Pokemon materializes out of nowhere.
Just go. Is that in a Moo? That is horrifying.
That's Emumu.
Now I see why he has no friends.
Always just makes me think of Cloud Templar. So does that, but in a more terrifying way. This is the DAMWON team, though, and they need to bounce back. This is going to be their biggest test of the series, because they need to show us that not only can they take down an SKT that has side selection in their favor, but also they can take down a squad after having a game one that went so horribly bad for them, especially towards the later stages. They had an honorable job as far as like staying in it as the game was going. As I believe we are going to have a redo on the champion select. Maybe something going wrong just a little bit there, but heard a whisper that perhaps we're going to have to rejig some stuff. Some parents in the audience here. As here we go. It's ShowMaker's mom here in the audience, and you can see mom and dad not necessarily super psyched about how game number one went.
Son of Tom. What?
And Coma Handsome.
I'm not totally getting that message right there. I think they mean the previous jungler, SKT Tom, but
possibly. But there's also so we're going to start over pick ban because there was an issue with swapping some champions around. This has happened from time to time, guys. But we're going to be very quickly through this draft. It's going to be exactly the same. And FLICKR fly to the finals. As that's some really cool pictures, as you could see just there. Actually going to be
fighting.
Yeah, Nuguri fighting. And FLICKR thinking that he may as well just lock in his champion, because why not?
Ooh.
As that's a Pantheon. He's disabled.
No, he's not.
Well, Ahri buff, please. That's why we've got that adorable Ahri picture there in the background, as you could see. And of course, with FLICKR on the rip. FLICKR's Akali was one of the most exciting to watch, but that was a very long time ago. Man, this draft is going exactly the same as the Game 2 draft. was one of the shortest game 2s of a finals that we've ever seen.
Yeah, I
Welcome
mean, this
to
is going to
game
be
3, guys.
You know, I said earlier it was going to be a 3-0, but it's actually a 4-0.
Wow.
Yeah.
So SKT won that game that we didn't even play?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Wow, by default?
Yes.
Just from just the orgs, just general aura.
There was a vote.
There was a vote.
There was a vote. Yes.
Voted on who won
Yes.
the game. All right. Well, we're gonna try and swap things around again. I mean, when drafts like, oh god, reading more scripts. When drafts like are redone because players can't switch champions, I find it really interesting that we then still have to have the champion switched. Like, why not just like
why
go
not just
straight
lock
down
in
the
your
line?
champion?
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
And ban like Garen Gangplank and stuff like that. You know, don't really need to worry too much about what the bans are when we already know exactly what's going to be coming out here. As you can see, we do have the same rosters, the same compositions, and hopefully less of the troubles getting into the game number 2. Clid fans there in the background. Clid has been the linchpin. He has been the dominant force for SKT. Maybe not in game number 1 as much as FLICKR was, who was able to get that solo kill in the mid lane and make ShowMaker irrelevant, and possibly even tilt this team to a point where it can be a real problem. Seal the deal. DAMWON win. We found the lone global DAMWON supporter.
Well,
hope you're enjoying the show, my friend. As we get into game number 2, it is the Jace on the top side of the map. The Karma is going to be mid lane trying to deal with FLICKR's Qiyana, and FLICKR is going to be trying to show ShowMaker exactly how it's done on that particular pick. He's already got a victory on it in the playoffs. See whether he can make it too as we move into game number 2. Some interesting rosters, some different change-ups between these two squads. I feel like SKT going back to that mid-game style composition that they've got, but with some late-game insurance and things like the Rise and the extra range on the Varus. Do like what they have going on here as someone going to have to pray for a miracle to stop what has been such an incredibly fast-moving SKT. Let's see whether it can happen in game 2. T1 fans, of course, in full voice. As you can see, it's a lovely evening here at LOL Park.
Well, does look like the opening is going to be a 5-point start. Relatively defensive play out of both of these teams. No one wanting to risk anything super early on. And talking about the two-team composition, so the Varus and the Rise, accompanied with the Sylas and the Qiyana, they can go really late. Whereas on the flip side, the Xayah is going to be the really key component that's going to scale much further into the game than anyone else on the side of DAMWON. Even though Sejuani is going to get a lot more tanky and durable, and Karma will grow increasingly obnoxious, the way that DAMWON Gaming is going to conduct themselves in team fights will ultimately devolve down to what can and what can't Nuclear do inside of everything. And interestingly enough, though, Karma has Scorch, which doesn't scale at all. I would have really expected Gathering Storm, and so that's definitely a bit of a blunder on what's happening. So SKT, if they can make it to the 3-item mark, everything should be smooth sailing for them. DAMWON, their edge is going to come in at 1 item. On 2 item, it's really going to come down to positioning.
Well, we'll see whether they can make that happen. I think DAMWON has also got themselves a little bit more option when it comes to sieging this time around. And we'll just have to see how this game is going to evolve. I think that last game, it was some similar sort of win conditions and scenarios, but SKT ultimately able to win out, despite things going relatively well for Nuguri topside. Some whoopsies made by Kahn in the earlier stages were mitigated, as that's a big Jace in the middle of your screen. That's what happens when Nuguri plays the Jace. We have to really highlight it. And Kahn has the minion wave in a pretty fantastic position for him also. So the Rise pretty comfortable. How has this matchup changed since the Rise change? I feel like I ask this question almost every single time we see the new Rise, but Rise versus Jace, how does it go? Who has priority here?
The matchup's pretty much the same. I mean, the real difference is that Ryze doesn't take the Aftershock anymore inside of the matchup. Historically, that allowed the old Ryze to actually go toe-to-toe with Jace and be basically a neutralizer for him, but the new Ryze taking the phase rush and whatnot, it's not that large of a dynamic change. Ryze also fits into this team comp, not necessarily just to go up against the Jace, but how he fits into the 5v5 mold.
And also, how they fit into the global game as well, because they've now got Abyssal Voyage and the Realm Warp. There can be some really fancy transitional plays coming out from SKT this game. So keep your eye out for where these SKT players are going to be maneuvering on the map. It's a cool Jace skin as well, I like that one. Canyon is here. Trying to see whether they can punish Kahn's positioning. So far, Kahn in a pretty good spot, but we are going to land the Arctic Assault, and that is going to be the first one coming out. Shock Blast also empowered, and Kahn down to 200 health, and now Flashless on the top side. Nuguri getting, once again, all the attention from Canyon.
Super early on, you would expect that Clid would just probably keep power farming unless he's going to go for a match or a counter gank. Don't really expect too much proactivity out of him, whereas Canyon can definitely be the one that looks for things early on, but Clid's going to come out ahead in terms of the jungle status anyway. He has a complete full clear. He got himself a Scuttle Crab as well. Everything's looking up for him.
And I think at this stage, like, if Clid once again has a fantastic game, that's when we have to ask the drafting question of DAMWON. Like, why leave the Sylas available and not pick that one away after the game one situation where everything went absolutely wrong? And it was largely based on Clid just having his run of the jungle and control of the map for a large portion of it, let alone being able to win a 4v5 basically off the back of a hijacked supreme display of talent.
Well, let's see what's going to happen here now as the mobility boots are picked up now for FLICKR. And so we'll have to see how Kahn as well as Teddy and Effort manage their lane state so that this can be a worthwhile purchase for FLICKR in the mid lane.
10 CS behind is the Qiyana, but of course that's what we're expecting in a ranged versus melee matchup. Once again, going to be about that mid game, where the Qiyana's going to go, what she can get done. Clid back into his own jungle here as well. Checking in on the jungle CS, it is Clid once again farming way more than what Canyon's been able to do. Canyon getting a flash top though is certainly going to be a worthwhile thing, as Kahn has to play a little bit more respectfully despite being extended relatively far at this stage. Does have his jungler in his back pocket. FLICKR clearing out vision on the top side also.
Oh, this is the timing though. They crashed a cannon wave, but the problem is that FLICKR, because of that control ward, he's a little bit too slow to move. As looks like he's found the Sejuani. I don't know if he can see those.
I don't think so either, but that's the ult into the wall, and that's first blood all too easily put together by SKT.
All right, well, Sedge is out of the game now.
Yeah,
so
at least for how long? A few seconds?
She's out of the game.
No, she's back.
Nope, she's really not. Clid's going to be level 6 really soon, and Canyon's still 4. Now, the one good thing, though, is that Canyon will get 100 bonus experience when he eats the Bramble back, because it's going to be level 6, he's level 4. You know me, I love to talk about rubber banding.
Yeah, do like it. Is Clid going to try and dash away here? Nuguri bops him into the wall, but I don't know whether the flash was all that valuable here, but one more auto would have done it, but couldn't actually move forward into Kahn in order to lock that one down. And Clid did have to use his flash, but he traded it with the top laner, which is probably still worth it in SKT's side of the map.
It also gave Canyon the ability to come over and eat the Scuttle Crab. Unsure what the level was on the crab. But nonetheless, still getting good rubber banding camps, and it's helping him recover.
What's the level of the Krugs? Because I think he's looking for those next.
I think the Krugs are level 6 too.
Nice.
Right, yeah. I would imagine so, as they're respawned during this clip, so.
Nice.
Yeah, they're either 6 or 5.
Well, that was a very, very dead Canyon in the jungle as ShowMaker able to get himself a turret plate there in the mid lane. SKT with a slight advantage of about 500 gold, but otherwise nothing to write home about. This bottom side is Teddy and Effort playing out the Varus Tahm Kench lane exactly how you would expect.
Also, it looks like...
Oh god, Nuguri.
Okay.
A lot of damage there onto Kahn, who's actually able to throw some damage back. Has Clid in his back pocket.
Nuguri doesn't have a ward. He's probably going to come down and plant one into the tri-brush. Oh, never mind, actually. It does look like Clid.
Ooh. If he
He's
had
just
read
gonna come up and
that
clear the wave.
recall positioning, he might have actually been able to kill Kahn with an empowered shock blast, but is not able to. Kahn, like you were talking about, doesn't have the teleport or the realm walk available, so it's going to be a 12 CS advantage from Nuguri and a bunch of plates as well if Clid is going to vacate. He's not. And so a few of those CS that you can see as far as the jungle difference is going to be in that minion wave that he ate top side. DAMWON going to utilize the positioning of the jungle information they have on SKT to take this Cloud Drake. Unless FLICKR has something to say about it, Supreme Display of Talent is available, but he's not going to go in 1 versus 4, and DAMWON are going to be able to grab the first neutral objective of this map.
It is going to be a Clown Dragon. And so for a team composition that intends to run straight headfirst at the opponent and take them on, it's not the most impactful Drake, but for the Jace, if he is split pushing and then trying to join up with this team if he's lacking teleport, can help out a little bit in that regard. SKT, they're still fine.
Yeah, they're also playing like it's halfway through the first game, you know? They're still playing with that level of confidence here, just stealing everything away. Topside seems to belong to DAMWON Gaming, sorry, to SKT, regardless of where DAMWON are. As FLICKR thinks that he may have found someone yet again. Nuguri with the acceleration gate, looking to try and get out, but the abduct, the abscond. Clid throws out the prison. He's going to land it there onto Nuguri, but FLICKR taking so much damage as he dashes back forward. Doesn't quite get the damage out of the ultimate as the Qiyana does pick up the chase with the last tick of the ignite, but it's a 1-for-1 as the Silas goes down, and now FLICKR in the enemy base is looking to try and get himself executed or out of there. ShowMaker comes forward, wants to get an auto attack, wants to get something to deny the execution, but he can't. Too mobile is the Qiyana, and that was actually cutely played by ShowMaker, and also, yeah, like you say, gets the XP.
He does get the experience, and now meanwhile, down in bottom, Teddy, pretty far up, but Sir Thomas making his way down.
Yeah, you see how much BeryL respected Sir Thomas. It's a rival.
Look at the waddle. An absolute savant.
He is. Utterly.
Yeah.
Wanders into the grass.
So handsome.
He is.
Majestic, really. Yeah.
He does have that that look
that
of
aura,
poise.
right?
Yeah.
His presence speaks volumes without him having to utter a word.
Yep.
You know?
Sometimes, you know, attractiveness comes from how you carry yourself, and I think that is exactly what Tom
Beauty is
about.
In the eye of the beholder, or in the belly.
Unless it's Tahm Kench, in which case, beauty is objectively what he has. It's FLICKR and Clid back into the mid lane, and okay, ShowMaker, he's going to walk up a little bit too far there as Clid is going to root him down. Actually, no, going to be rooted there as Canyon turns up, but doesn't really have too much of an opportunity. The Realm Walk to come in, and that's going to get the flash out from Canyon. The flash forward from FLICKR is going to secure it, waits for his buttons to come back, presses F, and that is going to be that. BeryL now wandering the bottom side jungle, but SKT, they own the top side like they were given 2 sides of the map at the beginning of this game.
Oh, Kahn.
Still actually trading relatively well here, not allowing himself to get bullied by Nuguri. He's out of potion charges though. Nuguri's still sitting on 1.
Well, FLICKR with those mobility boots. Now, this is what I was mentioning early on with them. It's going to really matter how the side lanes can set up for him, because otherwise all that he's going to end up doing with the early buy is trying to look to secure constant vision around River. As we take a look at the replay, they come in here onto ShowMaker, but the Karma sustain, the shields, as well as the W healing, a little bit too much. But then FLICKR goes over the wall.
Yep, EQ'd to death. Very, very swiftly. SKT grouping around Shelly for the moment. Nuguri, acceleration gate there. My God, how did that even happen? As Kahn is going to pick up the kill, but all of SKT playing that pick off so well.
Oh, no.
Wow. Sometimes the bouncy castle isn't the right place to be.
I'm so sorry.
Are we okay?
No. Neither is he.
No. No, not at all.
Oh, man. Oh. All right, well.
Bit of a shocker so far for Nuguri. He did a fair bit of help at the beginning of games 1 and 2. Quite able to turn it into anything too positive. Game's still in the very early stages, but a 3,000 gold lead is nothing to scoff at. As we're going to have a look at this once again. Oh, God, that's what happened. I thought it was SKT.
He was playing
well,
Minesweeper.
Instead, yeah.
That's what happened. Yeah,
he did not do the calculations on that particular square. As speaking of calculations, in comes Clid and FLICKR. And this gank duo is looking to do it so easily. Kahn picks up another one. I don't even know. Did he need the ignite? He used it. I don't know whether he even needed it in that particular scenario. Wave going to be shoved into the mid lane, and the Mountain Drake is now going to be collected from SKT. Rolling pretty high so far this game. They give away a Cloud Drake. Don't care about that one and grab themselves a Mountain, looking to have that extra advantage. And DAMWON, they're going to use this scenario to sit in the brush bottom side and see whether anyone walks down from the river.
Oh, man. I mean, I feel like this is also often a sign when your play or choices in the game ends up devolving to this point.
Yeah.
After losing out so much. I really feel like it's just one of those hallmark signs of desperation that you often sometimes see in teams. Last game we saw it inside of the Panic Baron attempt. Now we're starting to see them set up for things that just make no sense whatsoever. And so they're probably very emotional at this point, and I can't blame them. I mean, they only have one more game after this.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You know?
I mean, LS is the leaked script for a reason. Could have waited until at least game 2 to leak it, instead of in our opening words. That's okay. Come to expect this, guys. Know how this one goes. Being said, DAMWON could try and go off script. So far, they've been playing into it relatively effectively. It hasn't been a game where they've got to really play with too much agency. It's all about answering SKT's pressure at this stage. It's going to be another Cloud Drake in 4 minutes' time, so don't look for too much action around there, as Shelly is still on the map. No turret plates available, but still the ability to push down one of these turrets is going to be pretty important for SKT. We do want to play around a relatively dark map for DAMWON, given FLICKR's Qiyana that he does have available to him.
Does look like they're waiting for ShowMaker to maybe walk up inside of the lane. They have vision control on the left-hand side.
So much.
And it's a 4,000 gold lead almost here at 15 minutes. And you would have expected that DAMWON would be the ones with the gold lead. The fact that SKT, with the superior scaling team composition, has the advantage. I mean, I don't have to really spell it out for you, but
yeah,
DAMWON's looking like Dom lost this game.
It's really rough, though, because you look down the line at SKT's lanes, and yes, you can see the team composition scales very well, but also they have a lot of lane priority in a lot of areas. Also, I mean, Barristan Kench is a lane that you're always going to be comfortable in, and with the amount of jungle attention, FLICKR's turned his lane into a positive one as well. And even Kahn been fighting back effectively on the top side. He's 500 gold ahead of Nuguri, as Shelly's going to make that even worse for DAMWON. I think they've been playing around their strengths and their weaknesses exceptionally well on SKT's side. And Clid, this is the gauntlet Clid that we've come to expect. He is so damn good at the moment. And yeah, he got the Silas 2 games in a row. That is probably a blunder for DAMWON, but you still need to pilot it effectively. And I think that if DAMWON don't ban the Silas in game 3, something has gone exceptionally wrong. There's the flash forward. Okay, Kahn tries to get the E first before the W. That's why it's never all too easy now with this particular version of the Rise to get these picks. They do get the flash for flash. Yeah.
You know,
old Rise just presses F and W at the same time and you die, basically. Especially here in the LCK, where we had some of the best Rise players. His less recent iteration, FLICKR being one of them. This time around, though, he's playing Assassins. He's played Assassins, I believe this is his 6th time? Sorry, 5th or 6th time on an Assassin in a row. in the playoffs. It's been fun to watch as Kahn takes a full shot blast to the face. It's Clid now 1 versus 2. Probably wants to get out of there as Teddy has no interest in fighting that fight. He just wants to blow down this turret. Someone going to return the favor on the top side. They do it a little bit earlier. We'll see whether they can actually utilize that tempo situation, but ShowMaker in the mid lane is just trying to claw his way back into this game, so no man advantages for DAMWON around this map.
Another Cloud Dragon coming up in 45 seconds. SKT probably going to just be in position to freely take that one. As Effort just strolling around. He's looking for vision.
Yep. Magnificently as well, I might add.
Look at him.
Just recalling on the ward so that DAMWON can bask in his magnificence as well.
It really is quite holy to witness. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't get much more pure than this right here. Oh. Oh. Wow.
Oh, sorry, I lost my train of thought.
You were captured by it.
I
right?
was. I was enraptured. Enraptured entirely.
I get it. You know.
Yeah. Enraptured is a weird word now because of BioShock.
Okay.
Remember the place was called Rapture? And it was real scary?
I don't play any games that aren't League of Legends, okay?
What?
And don't even bring up to me
I only get analysts that don't know what video games are. Harder Smithy's another one. You know, he's married to League of Legends. And it is very monogamous. Seems to be the same thing. You dabbled in TFT. But
don't even talk to me about it.
That ship sailed pretty fast.
Yeah, it did. It sunk like the Titanic.
DAMWON now find themselves with a decent minion wave moving into this mid lane. ShowMaker going to teleport forward as well. Abyssal Voyage going to be the answer as now SKT is looking for their way in. The flash forward as Effort gets in there. Chains of Corruption are going to lock up DAMWON, but they haven't lost anyone yet. And even though 5 members of SKT turn up, they're not able to lock down any sort of kills. Teddy investing flash into that moment as well is big, especially when it's a Varus. It's FLICKR now looking for this flanking play. Duskblade is going to pop off, shows him that DAMWON do have vision of that flank, and they just brute force the mid lane, and that is one of the first proactive plays we've seen out of this squad that are playing around their mid-game spike with this composition.
Well, they're still down about 4,000 gold. Karma started off with Luden's Echo, but they're going to go into Athene's Unholy Grail shortly thereafter. Also, Nuguri with the lethality, he's going to be able to make use of that for quite a while, although Rise now going to be picking up the Frozen Heart next, it does look like.
Yep. Going to be heading that way.
I mean, Rise, he presses a lot of buttons.
He does.
He does do that.
He's got his Seraph's
What is your
Embrace
favorite
as well.
iteration of Rise?
My favorite iteration was the Moscow 5 Rise.
Is that the Overload with MS?
Yeah, that was the favorite. No skill shots. That was the the god tier. Yeah. I know you're an Annie player. I knew what the
what? I don't play Annie.
You're an Annie advocate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice save. Join the church, Atlas. Right? You might get gold.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
We basically hand it out.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean that sounds like a good church. I haven't been much of a churchgoer in the past, so this will be my first experience, but I'm really looking forward to it.
You can even get Diamond.
Do you call it Church of LS?
Church of Annie.
Oh, Church of Annie, okay. I don't know whether I like that as much as the Church of LS. What about the Church of Thomas?
There's no church.
Saint Thomas's church for the good opinions.
The best way to hide it is to pretend that it doesn't exist. We're all secretly followers.
Ah, okay, okay.
I guess it's not that much of a
secret. Not a question, there's an ultimate answered by an ultimate in the mid lane. Supreme display of talent was feather-stormed away. But SKT do have position around this
Canyon.
Yeah, Canyon in the side. Does have options for a flank. ShowMaker making his way in as well, but SKT have other ideas. South of the outer turret mid lane, they are in position. Nuguri clearing out some wolves. ShowMaker heads towards topside, and SKT should have the ability to move forward and get more damage on this turret, especially with BeryL getting slightly chunked. Canyon being herded off to the side also. ShowMaker will make his way back down, and it will be the 5 versus 5 in the mid lane.
I think that we're in a bit of a lull state.
Yeah, there's a bit of a Nayram situation going on, but it was only for a very short amount of time before the reset was opted in for by DAMWON and SKT.
Do you know what comes out next week?
What comes out next week?
It Chapter 2.
Oh my goodness! I really need to.
We're going.
Yeah, we're
You're
definitely
not
going, and
dodging me this time.
I need to watch the first
You need to
remake
work.
as
Yes,
well.
you do.
Looking forward to it. I've been watching The Boys.
I don't know what that is. It sounds like a Twitch chat meme.
Yeah,
The
I don't know,
Boys.
basically.
What?
It's a good show though. You know, it's about superheroes and stuff. You like that?
I do.
Yeah, it's like the opposite side of the Avengers story, I guess.
Oh, man.
About
Okay.
like corporate corruption and things like that. It's actually really cool.
Okay.
I like it. Don't want to give too much away, but I
You don't want to leak the script?
no, that's your job. That's your job. So you got to watch it and then leak it. But I sort of liked it and then didn't like it and then liked it again, as Clid is going to hijack an ultimate, throw it out, not find a target, and then move on back. Everything going to be okay on either side, but Clid not going to have that R button available for quite some time. FLICKR does have his back again, though, as Abyssal Voyage gets F at a very short distance. Realm War going to mean that the Rise can get in here as well. Supreme Display of Talent is going to lock down one. Teddy secures it with a hail of arrows. And now Kahn on the front line looking for more. BeryL puts up the door, keeps himself alive, but he couldn't save his top laner. As SKT now, with one extra person, move towards, once again, the outer turret in the mid lane. Canyon's here. He's got an itchy trigger finger on that Glacial Prison as FLICKR
man.
moving his way around. Nuclear could be in trouble.
Oh,
he
stole
spotted that
it.
as, yeah, FLICKR's going to have the Supreme Burst damage. Going to be able to lock down that red buff, and SKT will be able to get the second Mountain Drake of this game. DAMWON, only one dragon allowed in game number 2.
Well, they get the second mountain for themselves. And this means that Baron is so scary
Oh, yeah.
right now for DAMWON Gaming, who seem all too intent on playing the Nayram strategy here, as they have been neglecting their side lanes for a while. But now a ping goes down onto bottom by Nuguri, who's continuing on into the lethality tree.
He's probably looking for 1v1s more than anything else, probably trying to find that Rise. We
Yeah.
have a look at this fight once again, and that's
nice
a flash
ult.
R button from
Yeah.
FLICKR.
There was basically no way out of this, and you have to ask yourself, why is DAMWON in a position like this when Dragon was coming up so soon and their side lanes looked the way that it did? Because there's no universe that they ever get that mid-tier 2 turret.
Yeah, I mean, why are they sieging an inner turret with an outer turret left on the map, right? They could have been using Nuguri to split, and they've been protecting this turret so effectively
Yeah, they
so
have.
far in this game, because their wave clear is huge. I mean, they do have the Karma, the Jace, lots of different options here this time around. It's not the same as their comp from game number 1, which was going to struggle so much in the wave clear department. If DAMWON wants to, they can play 4-1 pretty comfortably with what they have. 1-3-1 also could be a thing, but the Karma has struggled to stay alive in a lot of situations this game.
Interestingly enough, though, actually, Rise, or Kahn, rather, picking up the Oblivion Orb is really surprising. There's an argument to be made for Morel and Omicron this game because Rise can deal a lot of damage to several targets, so it's going to impact ShowMaker's Athene's Unholy Grail. But there's so much magic resist already present on the side of DAMWON that just having a Void Staff and shredding through the front line probably is going to deal more than the healing that you would prevent.
And third item timing on a Void Staff often feels pretty good when it comes to the scaling of that item as well. So a few reasons why that's cool as Clid reached the end of his hijack limit. He's going to throw that one out just to get it off his bars. We do have Runon's Hurricane completed, though, from Teddy. He's got 3 items, a hell of a lot of Baron damage now available on SKT's side, with the double Mountain Drake as well as all the scaling attack speed and the Blade of the Ruined King as Clid's going to dive forward, lands the Abscond, Canyon gets out, ultimate. Going to get a mini stun there from FLICKR, but Canyon's going to be safe after the Arctic Assault. And SKT just testing the waters, not actually giving anything away at this stage apart from a little bit more of Clid's health bar than they would have otherwise liked. As DAMWON just repositioning around this Baron pit, they can take the irremovable vision available from this one, but DAMWON are just going to do it. They're rolling the dice once again. They've done this so many times this series. Half the health bar of the Baron goes missing as SKT have 5 members here. Clid can throw out the ultimate, lands it right into the backline as Nuclear gets a huge shield. FLICKR is exhausted, takes a whole lot of damage, and finally is taken down. Yeah, the Luden's proc going to be enough to do it there from ShowMaker. Now Kahn finds himself 1 versus 4, but Phase Rush gonna get him out of there as well. Canyon actually turning this situation around as Teddy wants to get some autos, but he can't stand still without being threatened to die. And now Effort just runs himself into the turret because he knew he was gonna go down. DAMWON have found another heroic team fight.
That's a really, really big team fight that they needed to keep themselves inside of this game. Bringing FLICKR down, repelling so many of the members. Yes, they were pulled off of the Baron, but they got so much accomplished. We're going to look at it one more time because the SKT, they really wanted the Scuttle Crab inside of this fight. Sejuani ultimate, it hit Nuclear, but right at the very end there, Effort getting hit. Luden's Echo proc goes off and kills FLICKR. Karma coming in so big right there with all the movement speed bonus, able to keep getting back onto SKT. Effort and Teddy, they tried to turn. Karma is just such a monster in these scenarios where they're small skirmishing, 3v3s, 4v4s.
And when the burst damage doesn't actually find kills, that's when Karma is so strong. It's extending the team fights that she's so good at. Was able to do so and now has an Ardent Sensor completed, as well as Kahn going to Realm Walk his way out of that situation. Realm Warp, I should say. There's now FLICKR wandering over some vision here, but he's got the Duskblade, so spots it, gets rid of it.
Athene's on Holy Grail, or Ardent and Athene's on the Karma now.
Yeah, exactly. The item spike is in.
This is the Nuclear show.
We saw how long Canyon stayed alive in that scenario.
Yeah.
Like, there were so many things that the Karma was able to do. This is the mid-game where the Karma composition works so well. SKT are going to have to be careful to play around what is a very strong DAMWON despite being down the entire game. This is 3 items on Xayah. This is 3 items on the Karma. And even the Jace is able to chunk the squishy members. Teddy taking a lot from that Mantrid Q.
Cloud Dragon is live. And because it's not going to be taken before 30, it does mean that the next dragon that will spawn is going to be Elder. Oh, man. No.
Well, Kahn's going to move on in as there's the hijacked ultimate onto Canyon, but he's taking so much damage and just tanking through it. Absolutely fine with the Aftershock there as the Sylas is just obliterated. They don't have the burst to lock down the Sejuani.
They don't have the burst to lock her down, but it looked like also Clid and FLICKR were just on totally different universes with what engage they were going to attempt to do. So I'm not really all that sure. Now, the one good thing is that they didn't lose anything other than Clid's life. It's not like he expended a flash.
Yeah, and it's not like this is an Elder Drake or something like that as well. So
and they're not losing control over the Barret. Are they trying to cheese it? They are.
Oh my god, BeryL's going to be right here.
Oh, FLICKR.
Yeah, he's going to get hit by the Q and just deleted. Nuclear's going to lock down that kill now as Kahn. He's going to get permafrosted. Canyon in the front line, but Aftershock is going to wear off. Gets himself the shield, gets out DAMWON. The whole landscape of this game has changed in the last few minutes.
Really surprising to me is that they have Realm Warp on Rise. They have double Mountain with a almost 4-item Varus, Kiana, Rise. They can shred right through the Baron.
Yeah.
Almost instantly. And you can see it looks like ShowMaker, he's keeping tabs on it because they don't have a ward for it right now. But even if there is a ward, you can just Realm Warp right in there, eat the Baron, and then take a team fight. It's really surprising to see them not doing it right there, FLICKR. That's like when you hate someone in solo queue and you just let them die.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that was just there.
Did he try to Audacity through the wall or something like that and fail? I'm confused as to why he wasn't in the fight. He's just standing there, right?
Yeah.
It was a strange situation. ShowMaker down towards the bottom side, clearing out this wave. Pretty easy there as well. As you were talking about 4-item Varus, the Bloodthirster is now completed. Double lifesteal. He's very strong, is Teddy on this Varus, but the problem is he also dies extremely quickly if DAMWON focus him down. And we saw in that last fight, there were no opportunities for him to stand and deliver. That's a huge ult, though, into the wall. Canyon has to get the hell out of there. Aftershock comes in. BeryL keeps himself alive with the stopwatch. Another great ult comes in, and finally Sejuani is going to be taken down. SKT, they found the pick that they were looking for. As now SKT can turn towards the Baron if they would like. You mentioned how much damage they have. They definitely know that, too.
Kahn is very low on HP, though.
Well, still looking to try and turn effort with the thick skin. Only a couple of seconds on that one now after 9:16, but uses it in order to get himself to relative safety. SKT can't be too overconfident here because the Karma is still alive.
The war of attrition.
Effort, and to be taken down very low. FLICKR doesn't have the ult, but does still have flanking position, but it doesn't seem to matter. DAMWON just have too much damage. The Xayah, with all the items, is doing so much work, and now frontlining, he's taken down. What a mistake there from Nuclear, and the Varus is now starting to pop off. Flash forward, Nuguri is going to land as well. And now ShowMaker underneath his turret. The quadra kill is there, but Teddy just wants to take down the structure and possibly even a Baron.
Canyon really close. You can see effort right there.
Corruption.
Teddy heals all the way back up. They can 3-man the Baron. They absolutely can 3-man it.
Yeah, Teddy can tank it for basically forever. He's got the double lifesteal coming in. Canyon, he knows this.
Goes down so quickly.
Oh my god,
but
this
so
Varus
Thomas
is so strong.
Wait,
be careful. Be careful. He's going to flash. He's going to get out of the way, and Canyon's not even going to contest. That is the Baron secured, and ideally, it is picked up by Teddy's auto attacks there as well. 4 items, 700 gold bounty. Let's have a look at this one once again.
Yeah, we take a look at this. FLICKR starts this off with his ultimate, knocking them both up. Now, BeryL gets into his Zanyas, basically. As Kahn comes over, they end up chain lashing Canyon to his death right there, telling the Poro that he is not acceptable. Now, the Rise ultimate was really strange. I thought that they were going to Rise ult immediately into the Baron and eat the Baron. This fight was taken because they can't win the war of attrition, but they didn't respect the exhaust. FLICKR got exhausted right away. It actually looked like DAMWON were just going to take it down, but then Clid, getting that knock-up right there, gave Teddy the opening that he needed to just plow through.
Yeah, and Teddy took it with open arms there as well. 5-0-1 now is this Varus. Still has about a 50 CS advantage, and now a BF sword in his back pocket as well. I hope that that's an Infinity Edge. You're going to do this much damage in a team fight, Teddy. May as well augment it even further, in my opinion. Close to ShowMaker picking himself up is Rabbidan's death cap, though. There are opportunities where DAMWON are able to fight back, but Nuclear cannot be stepping too far forward like that. This is a composition that thrives in having teamfight positioning that can slowly move through their opponents. SKT is the team that wants to be bursting someone out, but DAMWON wants to be going for a slow and steady fight, switching aggro a lot. They can't have a Xayah in the front line, even if she does have so many shields available, because SKT will be able to burst her.
And the scary thing about this upcoming team fight is that DAMWON, they're down a lot in gold, and normally I'm someone that advocates that, well, gold scores can be misleading. Here, it's really not that misleading. If Nuclear can stay alive, that's one thing, because obviously DAMWON, they went out on war of attrition. The problem is that SKT's items now, at this point in the game, the base scaling on all the champions, it is going to be so hard for DAMWON to, if they make one error, SKT can just plow right through.
Well, FLICKR's going to dive over the wall, looking for the ultimate timing here. Elder Drake down to half health as Clid's over to the side, finds himself the prison, lands it onto Canyon. Not the target they're looking for, but BeryL is chunked almost completely out of this fight. Not going to find too much as we're trading blows on every side. We're looking for FLICKR desperately on the DAMWON side. They see him turn up.
Oh, Seraph's misused.
Yeah, not going to happen.
War of attrition still in full effect. Teddy. Oh, man!
Yeah, taking that half health, but Clid's going to get another smite in these playoffs, and Canyon has to get the hell out of there. DAMWON still looking for a teamfight. His effort going down very low. Realm Warp going to be opted into by only Teddy, who gets himself off to the side as now Clid, being the hero, soaks up all the aggro, and SKT, they get the Baron, they get the Elder Drake, and they get out.
It does look like they're all just going to recall right now. Now, there's only 20 seconds remaining on the Baron, but the Elder, that's the really scary item, because now they can just attack move almost through DAMWON, who before, you can see in moments like this, it gets very scary because the Karma is offering so much healing, but as soon as they got the Elder, Clid won the smite. They pulled the trigger to try to go in. DAMWON, they try to retreat, and then eventually repel SKT back, and then at that point, becomes a full-on retreat where SKT are just trying to keep their members alive, so we can get a recall off perhaps complete items get elixirs. And Infinity Edge completed for the Varus. He probably has an elixir on him as well, but we can't see right now.
He's got a lot of effects running on him at the moment with that Elder Drake being there. Kahn on the bottom side of the map. Pirate Rise very comfortable right now, just looking to build a pretty cool hat. Already critting for tons and tons of damage. FLICKR here also just trying to hula hoop his way through the side lanes. And Clid patrolling the jungle. This is very comfortable for SKT right now as BeryL. Going to get his own ult thrown at him, but the door is there to mitigate a whole lot of that damage. He's going to be okay as the Chains of Corruption flashed by BeryL.
Now, some viewers, they might wonder, well, what is the tipping point that I was just alluding to where it became the nuclear show? If you go down the list of all the champions items right now on DAMWON side, you'll see that Jace is essentially the same champion 2 items forward. He's been conducting himself the same way in the team fights. The Karma comes online with the
Teddy
death
gonna
cap,
get ulted, but there's the Devour coming in for effort. Fitskin not even able to be used as now Teddy trying to cut this one out. He flashes so much damage here from the Varus. And the Supreme Display of Talent is also there. Nuclear getting chunked out, but he's still alive. That's the important part. He's burning down, and the Silas grabs the kill with the red buff. SKT, they've picked up the Xayah, the key point of this composition from DAMWON, and they can now do anything that they want.
Well, they're definitely going to get the mid-tier 2. The Elder Dragon buff is about to run out.
God, Teddy is so scary, man.
Yeah, he'll heal up off the entire wave. You can see that. He's back to full right now. 32 seconds on Nuclear. SKT, they might try to end the game.
Well, we'll see whether they can here. ShowMaker is still there, able to give these big shields around. And Nuguri does have damage potential, but do they have enough is the question. You see SKT, they just want to win this game. Look at the damage to these turrets. Minion wave dealt with. SKT, no Baron buff.
Ooh.
DAMWON. They've got 9 seconds now on Nuclear, and SKT realize that they don't need to worry about it. They can just move over to the Baron.
They can just burst it down. Double Mountain Dragon. Why are they wasting their time?
I mean, Teddy can just do it by himself, basically, can't he?
They can burst it. They can burst it right now. Effort. Yep. Tom Kench will hold them all off.
So much damage here as it just evaporates. Goodbye, Baron. SKT grab their next one as now FLICKR might be in trouble.
He's dead, yeah.
He is going to be taken down, but that is only 1 pick in trade for a Baron. You'll take that any day of the week. And just to mention...
Teleport, ooh, that's really good.
There's also a 13,000 gold lead now. This game has very quickly gotten out of control.
So, man.
Yeah, it's a rough one here for DAMWON fans because you can see what their comp can do. There were sort of glimmers of hope of what this Karma buffed Xayah can do. But now the map is getting split, and DAMWON, yes, they're able to grab this in a turret, but...
They're going to try to end through mid and potentially just ignore Rise.
Well, he's going to go back.
I don't know why he's going back.
And taken down. Chains of Corruption. Land onto the Xayah in the front line. And now Kahn, yeah, exactly right. That's what he's going to try and do. The prison is going to go wide, though, and SKT, they use this as their time to pounce. Clid goes golden. The Zhonya's is there. Chain Lash, not going to be enough. The Xayah is going to grab it. Nuguri flashes in, flashes out. Teddy doing the damage, though, and now ShowMaker in trouble. Tongue Lash comes in, and DAMWON looking to try and turn it. Teddy versus Nuclear is the battle. A double lifesteal. He's going to do it. In the meantime, Kahn, he's going to do it again, winning the game by himself in the DAMWON base.
And there it is. The Nexus going to die as Tom gracing us with his presence right at the very
I really
end.
wished he had made it there on his abyssal voyage, but oh man, SKT, it's basically the same game as game number 1 in the last few seconds of that one. It was once again Kahn in a side lane, SKT 5 versus 4, and we just saw it. It was the Ardent Sensor buffed Xayah, the late game items were in against the double lifesteal Varus with the stacked Rage Blade, and my money was on Teddy from the start, LS, and he did manage to come out on top.
Varus came online. I mean, Nuclear was the only hope. We saw it over and over that it would come down to the Xayah being enabled by the Karma, and just it wasn't able to be. In the end, the Baron went down, and it put DAMWON in such a awkward spot where they were inevitably forked by Rise on the split push in the end, much akin to game number 1. They made the panic decision to try to barrel down mid. There was no answer to the Rise split push, and they just ended up dying.
Yep. Couldn't actually do it. And I loved that Kahn was like trying to go for... Sorry, yeah, my brain just completely fried. A few bit of extra information just coming in here as we're going to check out the last team fight. The Chains of Corruption were absolutely beautiful. What I was trying to say was that Kahn was just happy to go for split push every single time throughout both of these games, and just allows his team to do things like this, where despite the fact that it's only Teddy and Effort left over, it doesn't seem to matter if Teddy's alive.
Teddy and Effort, they're able to hold the gates. FLICKR was respawning, and it just didn't matter. But this, again, it was another scary situation, though. I do have to point out that Kahn was recalling.
Yeah.
He backed up several hundred range and made almost the decision to recall. So even though they've won through this 2 games in a row now, it is really scary how long it takes Kahn to capture the opportunity and identify what he needs to do.
Teddy did 36,000.
I'm not impressed, man. It's 37K or go home.
All right, well. Sorry, mate. Need that extra 100 or you got the impressed LS. That being said, this was once again an absolute smashing from SKT. It feels like they're plowing through Sandbox and DAMWON like they're the same team. And that isn't what my prediction was going to be. I thought it was going to be a 3-0, yes, but I thought the games would be a little bit closer than this.
Well, I feel like they're close in the sense that I don't think any other team right now in the league can maybe have edged out DAMWON in some of these fights, except for maybe Griffin.
Yeah.
And so that spells good news if you're a DAMWON fan, though.
That's exactly right. And of course, this isn't their last opportunity as well, even if they fall here. But guys, game number 3, right after the break.
밀어. 안 끝나. 끝나겠다. 이거 와줘. 열심히 하면. 오케이. 와줘야 되지.
와줘.
빨리
이제 와줘.
이제 와줘.
안전하게 하자.
보면서 와줘.
끝내려고 하는.
와줘.
안 끝나.
안 끝나. 밀어.
빼.
밀어. 밀어. 이겼어.
살짝이.
밀어.
이거 잘 봐야 돼. 야, 부릴 수 있다.
밀어.
자야 피 300. 야, 나 3초 이거. 자야 피 300이야. 야, 안 잡아야 돼.
끝났어.
안 잡아도 된다. 안 잡아도 돼. 시간 봐봐. 야, 끝나겠다.
나이스. 이바지로. 나이스.
야, 끝내지 봐봐.
끝나지. 아이 무슨 소리야 끝내야지.
때리 봐봐. 때리
무슨
봐봐.
소리야 끝내야지.
맞아. 이거지.
한판 남았다.
때리,
이거지.
때려.
이거지.
SKT 원 데뷔.
뭐 박지성.
아 근데 박지성 밖에 없어.